Okay, we're nearly done. Let's go ahead and finalize these lights. So the first thing that I want to do is go in and enable shadows on a couple of lights that I forgot to previously. The first one is the spotlight over by the treasure chest. So I'm going to zoom over here, select that spotlight, and just enable shadows. So that adds a little bit of extra shadowing, which combined with our ambient occlusion looks really great. Now I also want to add shadows to our lantern. So I'm going to go over and I'm just going to select our lantern from the prefabs folder. Go. And then click on the drop down here, select the point light, and then turn on shadows. There we go. So now we're getting some shadow effect on the actual kind of pillar that our lantern is standing on. Now let's get the lighting probes into the scene so our character will be able to take on some of the lighting that we just set up. So I'm going to go to Game Object, Light, and choose Light Probe Group. I'm going to bring this over to the start of the level. And I'm going to keep the light probes right about this height or maybe a little bit taller. We're really only worried about making sure that our only dynamic object in the scene, which is the character, is taking full advantage of the light probes. So we don't need to make them extra tall. So now I'm going to set them up. Now, all of our environment has already been set to static for the process of actually baking the navigation mesh for our character, so that's a step that we don't have to worry about doing here. And that's why our lights have been just automatically working with our scene. And there we go. It looks a little bit noodly, but our character is definitely going to be able to get a bunch of lighting information now. I'm going to get close in on my dwarf hero. And we can see that he's already starting to pick up a lot of the blue. Let's go ahead and move him down and see how he looks in another part of the scene. And there we go. Now he's getting some really nice orange effects as well. Great. So now let's add in some reflection probes so we can get some of that smoothness effect on our stonework. I'm going to go to Game Object, Light, and choose Reflection Probe. Now if we were actually going to be reflecting objects in our scene, we would want several of these throughout the level, but because this is just there to kind of enhance our materials, I'm only going to add 2 reflection probes, one for the first section of the bridge and then one for the main area here. So I'm going to just adjust the size. Better get it into the proper area first, that would help. There we go, and we could already see a really drastic difference between this part of the stone that is part of the reflection probe and the part below that isn't. So now I'm going to adjust that size like I said. Now the reason why we want multiple reflection probes in a situation where we would have more reflective objects is because we want the reflections to match the area. If I tried to stretch this reflection probe all the way across this first part of the scene, when our character, if they had like a reflective sword or something, was right here, they'd be reflecting some really warped areas back here rather than an area that was a little bit more sensical for their location. Go, and I'm just going to duplicate this. Move it over here and edit it. There we go. Already this looks a lot nicer. If we go over to the game view and select the second reflection probe and toggle it off, we could see an enormous difference between the 2 lighting scenarios. So we have just an overall nicer look and feel to our stonework. The shadows come across better, just looks significantly better than it was before. Last thing that we want to do is bring our light map settings back up to high quality. So I'm going to go over to lighting. I'm going to scroll down to light mapper settings. I'm going to set my indirect resolution back to 2 and my light map resolution back to 40. In this course, we gained a foundational knowledge of the Unity lighting system. We discovered skyboxes and directional lights, learned about global illumination, and how to integrate it into interactive scenes using light and reflection probes. We also learned about the different light types, as well as self-illuminated materials. Finally, we got a taste of what it's like to work on a game production by lighting a scene. Lighting is a huge topic that can take years to master. I hope that this course has helped start you on your way. Thanks for watching. Until next time.